Hey guys, welcome back. So today, I brought home this Champion generator. It's a little guy, only 3,000 running watts, only 120 volts. It's marketed more toward the RVers. It's a decent little machine. You know, it's pretty complete. I don't see any damage. The story behind this is, of course, it doesn't run, and it's been a couple years since it did. Before it stopped running, it was very difficult to start. So I'm sure we're dealing with a fuel problem. The tank itself doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look great either. You can see there's a bit of rust there. Nothing too concerning. So I don't think we have an issue there per se. But, you know, I think I'm gonna try the easy thing here. I did check the oil. There is oil. Needs to be changed. Before I do anything, I'm just gonna get you guys set up in a stand and pull the cord a few times, see if we get anything from this. Oh. Okay, well, it sputtered. That tells us a lot. It tells me we have spark, we have compression, we have timing. We don't have fuel, so that carb needs to come off. Good thing about these Honda clones, they pretty much all have a bowl drain. You know, when you're done using your generator, probably the best thing you can do is pull that and drain it out so that you don't run into this kind of problem. There's not too much good to say about this other than there's no water in there. The fuel is quite expired. Okay, there's not much coming out anymore, but there is still gas in the tank, and I've tilted the generator, and it's not making much of a difference. So I have a feeling the rust and junk has kind of gathered around the fuel outlet and kind of blocking it at this point. So I'm gonna have to get these side plates off, get the tank bolts out, and tip it up on its side, you know, remove the petcock, and then just pour the rest of it out. Not too bad. Fuel petcock isn't in that bad a shape. I think the biggest issue here is that this O-ring looks to be a bit deteriorated, but it wasn't leaking yet. Regardless, these things are only like $8, so not too concerned about that. Let's see what comes out of this tank. Yeah, so the tank's not as good as I thought it was. Honestly, I looked at it, I swear, before I bought it, and I didn't see anything. Not sure what I was looking at, but you know, it doesn't look terrible. I've seen a lot worse, but there are spots where it's pretty bad. You know, I guess my concern is I'm not keeping this generator. I'm fixing it up to sell to someone to use after a storm. And this tank, although it might be usable now, you know, in a few years, it could be leaking all over the place. And I don't want to do that to someone. So I'm probably going to get a new tank for it. They're cheap enough on eBay. This is just a Honda clone, 5-gallon tank. They go for about $40. So I'm just going to order one of those. I think the biggest issue is just that it's red, you know, but before doing that, I do want to go through that car, put it back on, make sure we have a good running engine, and that it makes power. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad in here. A little bit of corrosion, a little bit of varnish, but not too bad. This is the idle screw right here. These generators don't actually use that, so you don't want to drive it in far at all. And really the only purpose of it is to hold down this pilot jet here. At least in generators. For things that actually run slow, you do need this screw to set it so that it doesn't stall. And down there's the main jet. Didn't think it was going to come out. Main jet is completely clogged. The pilot jet is usually hard to tell, but if you shine a light through the side, you can kind of maybe see the light shining through the top. In this case, I think I see a sliver of light, so a bit was getting through there. I'm actually kind of surprised it started at all. It was actually acting like it wasn't getting any fuel, so I thought maybe the needle was stuck, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So anyway, I'm just going to run a wire through everything, put it in the ultrasonic for a bit. I'm out of my normal Harbor Freight degreaser, so I'm just trying a little bit of Dawn dish soap. Somehow I don't think it's going to work as well. Okay, cleaned up pretty well. I think this will run. Okay, all done. Let's throw this back on the machine and see what it can do. All right, unfortunately I destroyed both of the gaskets getting this carb off. I did find this kit. It must have come with another carb. I had ordered in the past, but it seems to be what I need to get this thing back together. So I'll give these a try and see how we make out. Okay, ready to give this thing a try. I've got a temporary fuel line hooked up and filled to right about there. Space heater, which is 1500 watts, which is half load, and the kilowatt. So I'm going to start this, and assuming it starts and runs well, I'm going to check the hertz. I want to make sure it's about 62 hertz with no load, put half load on it, and hopefully it stays at around 60 with half load. Sounds pretty good. 125 volts, 60.8, not too bad, but I'm going to bump it up a bit to 61.5. Okay, we're at 61.5. Perfect. 60 hertz at half load. That's where it should be, so this is good. Okay, very nice. This thing started first pull, turned the choke off right away, and it ran quite smooth. So the engine, or the carburetor specifically, is now good. And the engine speed was a bit slow. It was, I don't know, 60.8 maybe. Probably could have left it alone, but I did bump it up to 61.5. Put a half load on it, 1500 watts, and it held right at 60 hertz, which is perfect. So we got a good engine, good generator head, good carb. We're in pretty good shape. Now, the gas tank, I'm gonna put an order in. You know, I think really the only thing I can do now is get this back to the garage and change the oil. However, I forgot to check this gauge here. It says it does volts, hertz, and hours. Most interested in the hours to see how much runtime this has, so I'm gonna start it again and just check that, see what it says. Okay, very nice. Only 87 hours on this thing. So we'll get it back to the garage, get that oil changed while it's hot. New tank arrived today. I dropped it in the hole. Haven't actually installed anything yet. All the fasteners are missing, but what I wanted to see is that does this tank fit and do all of the hole locations line up? And they do. So this tank is a perfect replacement other than the color, but this thing has these yellow tins kind of wrapping it. And although the red does look a bit odd, I think I'm going to leave it as is. You know, this generator is not a super high-end one, even when it was new. And at best, I'm probably not going to get more than 200 bucks for it. And I don't think it's worth the effort to change that tank yellow. So I'm going to leave it alone. I think the only thing I am going to do is just pull this handle off, throw some fresh paint on it. And when that's dry, we'll just put everything back on, tighten it down, and bring it out for one more test. Handle came out pretty well. Not perfect, but it looks better than it did before. So I'm just gonna start reassembling. Gonna throw this handle back on, the tank, those tins, and yeah, that'll be it. Okay, so we'll just do a quick final test now that everything is put back together. No surprises, this thing still starts, runs, sounds good, and supports a load. So, I think we're done here. Hope this video helps someone. Thanks for watching.